Next, wanted to address self-improvement. And one of the things that years ago that really fascinated me was when I would hear about some of the great athletes back then. You know, you have your Magic Johnsons and Larry Birds, and what they would do on their off season was add to their skill set, add to their game. So they're constantly working to improve themselves. And so the high performers are learning, they're improving their training during their off season, and so forth. And so I wanted to ask, in terms of self-improvement, wanted to ask for Carly, Charlene, and Ryan to address that. And so, Carly, can you go ahead and get us started?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite topics because a lot of people don't have self-reflection. And if you can't have self-reflection, you're not open to feedback. And if you're not open to feedback, you're not coachable. So if you have an employee that's none of those things, it's really hard to help them get to where they want to go, help them perform at their job. It's just something that I have strived my whole career to be able to look my boss in the face and say, you're right, I screwed up, I messed up there, but let's go forward. How can I fix it? How can I make it better? What do I need to do different? How do I say it differently? How do I have different facial expressions? So I think being able to be in this business is to have the ability to have self-improvement and to want to have self-improvement, because you can't teach that at all. Just like hard work. You can't teach it. They just have to want to be able to have self-improvement.
Very good. Thank you, Carly.
On this topic, but I'll let it go for right now.
All right. Hey, that's okay. Hopefully we'll have some time for you to add more. All right. So Charlene, how about you?
Self-improvement for me, aside from feedback, which I feel like as a producer, it's something you get on a daily basis from your team that you work with. But last year, well, in 2019, I decided that I wanted to improve my skills on a bigger scale. And I decided to pursue a master's at USC, where I thought I could reach that next level in my career. My ultimate goal is to become an executive in the television industry. And I was able to learn how to not just sell a brand on a local scale, but on a international scale. And it's something I think that is very important as a producer when you're creating content, is to think outside of the box and to see things in a different way, especially right now, how content is being produced differently and how things are just evolving, not just on television, but on streaming. And I've just grown so much, especially during the pandemic, producing content from home since March. I never thought I would be able to produce 2 television shows from my living room. And I think those skills that I gained at USC while working full time taught me that there aren't any limits. And I think it's very important because especially during the pandemic, I had to teach myself how to edit. At ESPN, we use a certain technology, and at home, I didn't have access to that technology, and I learned how to edit with Adobe Premiere, which I think is huge. And now I feel so comfortable to do things from any part of the world. I don't have to be in a studio, and it can air on television or on any platform within minutes.
Terrific. Thank you. And Ryan, how about you?
Thanks, Ron. With this one, with self-improvement, first off, for the students here that are with all of us today, you're already doing that now by being here. Again, it's a Saturday. I recognize there's many other things you can do. I'm sure all of us here on the panel are, one, appreciative that you're here with us, but all of us can probably add, we too recognize that you're already putting yourself ahead of everyone else, because this is what it's about. We work in sports. It's not a 9 to 5. So I think, with that being said, and pivoting into the self-improvement for career success, but also for you all, the job search, you're going to stand out so much faster, and you're going to be in the industry so much sooner and quicker if you've done your homework and you're educated on your own. I think with this pandemic specifically, and in the time you all probably trying to look for jobs and understand what it's going to take to get into this industry, being able to listen to these podcasts that have come up where we within the industry are sharing our best practices during this pause that has been a little longer than I think all of us want to admit. But also too, whether it's Sports Business Solutions, Sports Business Journal, there's so much on the media side that's giving us ample information, not just on a specific industry or a specific league, the NBA, the NHL, NFL, MLB. We're learning about things overseas in different leagues where we maybe don't have direct access to having conferences like this. So being able to take the time outside of the 9 to 5 and read up on what's going on, as well as listen to the new things that are coming within our industry, I think are huge success points for you all, specifically when we get into the job search conversation, as I'm hopeful most of you are already starting and are looking to continue as we finish through this.
Okay, great stuff. And so just real quick recap, once again, lots of stuff shared. And so I really like that self-reflection that Carly mentioned, too, and just have that self-awareness and being open to feedback. This feedback is obviously so important for our improvement. And then Charlene, appreciated you obviously talking about your journey towards your master's, because it was really something needed for you to improve on the way to being a television executive, hopefully one of these days. And then, and Ryan, nice shout out to the students for, just being on this call and as a way of showing improvement, and certainly, learning on your own so that you can advance faster in the industry. So hopefully, all this is making sense to everybody, the hard work and the self-improvement, how it all ties into your career and making you competitive in a very competitive industry.